Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Thank you, everyone that joined today webinar. Today we have a different case. Every time we have a guest from different countries and he has a PhD certificate. However, this time we encourage a master and PhD student to present their papers, and after that we will give them some advice, comments to improve the quality of the paper. This webinar will be recorded and it's live in YouTube right now. My name is Dr. Ahmed Al-Kattan from Kuwait, the founder of ITAR Group. This webinar, it will take 40 to 45 minutes, and after that we'll open the floor for any questions. There is two types. If you want to ask a question, you can raise your question from Q&A below. Just write your question, and after the webinar, you can Lamira can answer your question, or you can raise your hand and we'll go one by one to ask Lamira your question. So, Al-Amira, today we have Al-Amira from Indonesia. Her topic about the implementation of good corporate governance to improve service quality, the case of a state-owned electricity company in Indonesia. Al-Amira, she's an accounting major, and she is working in Indonesia in Faculty of Sharia Islamic Economy Law Department in IN Locuzo in Indonesia as a lecturer. She gets her bachelor and master degree from Indonesia, and today she wanna share her paper with us. Thank you, Al-Amira, for accepting my invitation. Thank you so much, and the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Dr. Ahmad Al-Kattan. Hello, everyone. My name is Almira Kamala Ulfa. I'm a lecturer from IAIN Loksmawe. I am a coaching lecturer. Thank you for ITAR Group, and thank you for Dr. Ahmad Al-Kattan for invite me so I can to be speaker in this webinar. Okay, I will talk about the implementation of good corporate governance, or GCG, to improve service quality, the case of state owned electricity company in Indonesia. Next, please. PT PLN is the only state-owned company that supplies electricity service in Indonesia. As the only state-owned electricity company in Indonesia, PT PLN has a vision to be a recognized world-class company that is flourishing with superior and reliable human potential. To materialize its vision, the company has set up four missions, namely: 1. Running the electricity business and other related fields oriented to the customer satisfaction, corporate number, and stockholder. 2. Making electricity as a medium to improve the quality of people's lives. 3. Keeping electrical power into the driving economic activity. 4. Environmentally running sound business activity. PT PLN has motto, electricity for a better life. Hitherto, the company has not fully been able to provide the best service for its customer as expected. This could be seen from many complaints forwarded by customers due to their dissatisfaction on the service quality of the company. A number of customers raised objection over the sudden termination and revocation of electricity supply that is done unilaterally by the company without a without a prior notice. Several customers have reported the company to the Ombudsman due to the sudden blackouts of the electric power repeatedly without a prior notice. Ombudsman in Indonesia is a government complaint bureau. As the result of the electricity breakout due to power shortage, it turns out the additional burdens experienced by people who began to complain to the rise of 50 or 100% electricity bill every month. Chairman of the Foundation for Consumer Protection, Aceh Fahmiwati, stated that the occurrence of blackouts in 2 to 3 times a week for 5 hours, it has been very burdensome and detrimental to the consumer, especially when coupled with a blood bill with frequent power outages. Ideally, the purpose of state-owned company is basically to satisfy the public customer. Every public service should have a standard of service as a guarantee of certainty for service provided. It is also the right of the public to demand for better service and to send a petition. If the promised quality service failed to be provided by the company, according to the decree of the Ministry of Administration and Bureaucracy of Reform, uh, they have seek a standard of public service. One, procedure. Two, the time of completion. Three, the cost of service. Four, the product service. Five, means and infrastructure. And six, the competence of personal service. Furthermore, to provide customer satisfaction with the excellent service quality, Legend suggested the following principles, so-called GCG principle or good corporate government principle, namely transparency is with transparency, services that are open, easy, and accessible to all those in need. With accountability, service can be accounted for in accordance with the provision of the legislation. With conditional service can accordance with the condition and the ability of the provider to be served to customer by sticking to the principle of efficiency and effectiveness. And the participative, with participative service can that encourage community participation in public service delivery. With equal rights, service can practice of discrimination of customer based on their particular type, race, religion, class, social status, and other. And for the less balance of rights and obligations, service should take into consideration the aspect of justice between providers and the public customer. The quality of service is an important measure of how effective the state-owned company in serving the community satisfaction. The general objective is fundamental to good corporate governance, including providing good quality service. Good corporate governance focus on the goal and outcomes of the organization to the community and service user. In order to improve the quality of service to the community, then is a timely for PTPL and to implement the principle of good corporate governance so as to provide service to the public satisfaction. Goldana stated that to improve the service quality by implementing good corporate governance is aimed to meet the demands and interests of the stakeholder. Like Wisdu et al. Delineates that with the implementation of good corporate governance, it would enable the company to provide a good quality service. In short, the implementation of GCG should improve the quality of service. The implementation of GCG by the company is just a way to run company activities, as its implementation is more of a business ethic than a necessity in its application. Its implementation is extremely important for company itself to have better governance and to enhance in value. The presence of state-owned company is expected to be able to support the effort of social welfare embodiment in order for this expectation to be realized. The implementation of good corporate governance is necessary for the firm so that it can be productive by having an efficient and professional management. In other words, the application of the principle of GCG is an important step for the company to improve and maximize the value of the company. Encourage professional, transparent, and efficient company management by enhancing the principle of openness, accountability, trustworthy, responsibility, and fairness, so that it could better fulfill its obligation to shareholder, board of director, business partner, stakeholder, and other interest parties. Next slide, please. Okay, there's a problem formulation and research objective in this study. One, how is the implementation of good corporate governance and service quality of state-owned electricity company in Indonesia? Two, to what extent can be implementation of good corporate governance improve the quality of service at of state-owned electricity company in Indonesia? Three, what factors support and hinder the implementation of good corporate governance in improving service quality at of state-owned electricity company in Indonesia? Next slide, please. Okay. Service quality. What is service quality? Service quality is defined as a focus of how to meet the needs and requirements and how well services are delivered in accordance with customer expectation. The quality of customer service can measure the overall excellence of products of service offered. It is a measure of how well the service delivered meets the customer expectation of products and service provided. Quality of service is determined by the difference between customer expectation of service and their evaluation of the service they receive. Thus, a quality service-oriented customer is highly dependent on their satisfaction. In short, the main objective of public service is basically to satisfy the public. Industrial service play an increasingly important role in the global economy, in the global competitive environment era. Providing service quality has been regarded and as extremely important with its strategy for success and survival as a company. Under an increasing pressure, public sector organizations should also be able to provide quality service and improve efficiency. Next slide, please. Good corporate governance. What good corporate governance? According to corporate governance is related to effective decision making, where took the organization culture, values, system processes, policies, and organizational structure, which aim to achieve a profitable business, efficiency, and effective in managing the risk, and is responsible towards the interests of stakeholders. Good corporate governance is basically a matter of who is supposed to control the activity of the corporation and why it should be controlled over the activities of the corporation. What is meant by who? Here are the shareholders of various parties interested in the company, including shareholders, management, boards of directors, and stakeholders, include employees, supplier, customer, bank, and other creditor, regulator, and community. The implementation of good corporate governance would maximize shareholder wealth, and it might enable weak managers to pursue their own goals. Good corporate governance encourages the creation of a market that is efficient, transparent, and consistent with legislation. Therefore, the application of GCG needs to be supported by three interrelated pillars, namely the state and its apparatus as regulator, the business community as market participants, and the public as user of the product and service. The basic principles that must be implemented by each of the pillars are: one, the state and its apparatus creating legislation that supports a healthy business climate, efficiency and transparency, consistent implementation of legislation and enforcement. Two, the business as market maker to apply GCG as a basic guidelines implementation effort. And three, the public as the user of products and services as well as other related parties who care and socially control the objective and who are responsible for the organization. Next slide, please. Okay, research method in study is use combination method of qualitative and quantitative approach. It's called mixed method. In accordance with the purpose of the study, okay, this so the study use combination of qualitative and quantitative. According to Brannan, the use of qualitative and quantitative approach would avoid each approach from weakness. The qualitative approach is adopted to provide the answer for the degree of GCG implementation by referring to the main score of each variable, while the quantitative approach based on the multiple regression analysis is utilized to measure the effects of GCG implementation on the service quality of the state-owned electricity company in Indonesia. Next slide, please. Analysis method, quantitative in the study use multiple regression model. Okay, and qualitative use analyze of interview research. Multiple regression model, we can see a formula. There SK equal B1 transparent plus B2 accountable, 3B plus B3 responsibility plus B4 independency plus B5 fairness plus error. Okay, next slide please, Mr. Ahmad. There are operationalized variables in this study once they have quality of service. In this study, the service quality was measured by 10 principles of public service stipulated in the decision of the Ministry for Administrative and Bureaucratic Reform of Indonesia on general guidelines for the implementation of public service. These principles include simplicity, clarity, certainty of time, accuracy, security, responsibility, completeness, easiness of access, discipline, courtesy, and hospitality and convenience. Okay, next slide, Mr. Dr. Ahmad Al-Katan, please. Okay, and the second variable is principle of good corporate. Is a good corporate governance. To measure the good corporate governance, the study referred to adopt 5 principles of good corporate governance based on the Committee for National Governance Policy. The first principle is transparency, which is measured by 3 indicators, namely 1, providing information timely, adequately, clearly, completely, accurately, and comparably and easily to access. 2, the principle of openness. And 3, written policy is proportionally communicated to stakeholders. The second principle of GCG is accountability, which is measured by 4 indicators, namely establishing the detail of the tasks and responsibility of each employee. 2, an effective internal control system. 3, the existence of a performance measurement based on rewards and punishment system. And 4, business ethic and code of conduct that has been agreed upon. Next, the third principle of the GCG is the responsibility, which is measured by compliance with law and regulator statute and regulation of the company. And 2, company social responsibility. The fourth principle of GCG is independency, which is measured by 1, not affected by specific interest, and 2, free from conflict of interest. Finally, the last principle of the GCG is fairness, which is measured by 3 indicator, namely the opportunity to provide input and opinion in the interest of the company. 2, fair and equitable treatment. 3, equal opportunity in recruitment, career, and perform their duties in a professional manner. Next slide, please, Mr. Ahmad. Okay, the background of respondent. In this study, I have 167 questionnaires were disseminated to all employees of the state-owned electricity company in Indonesia. All questionnaires were completely filled out and returned back by respondent within 11 days. Of the respondent is 59.30% was female, while 40.87% was male. Next slide, please. Okay. There are analysis of respondent perception. In this study, the quality of service was measured by 10 statements. For respondent perception of service quality, each statement is given an alternative choice answer ranging from strongly disagree to strongly agree. The mean score of 3.82 was found, indicating that the respondent perceived that the quality of service provided by company has been good. This has been very much in line with several attempts made by the company in improving the quality of service. In order to realize the aspiration to become a world-class company, the company has provided contact center is called with PLN 123 in all regions of Indonesia. And the contact center has improved the integrity of the quality of public servant by serving customers wholeheartedly. This contact center could be accessed by anyone, anywhere, and anytime. The contact center service are supported by centralized service application, namely centralized customer complaint application, centralized revenue management and control flow, and centralized customer service application. The center provides easy access without limit to customer by accessing the contact center by phone, PLN 123. And they have a social media such as internet website. The website is www.pln.co.id, and they have Facebook. Their Facebook is pln123, and they have a Twitter. The account Twitter, and then account Twitter is at pln_123, and they have email too, and their email is pln123@pln.co.id. So customer could easily perform a new connection request, the addition of power while splicing, asking for information, and to file a complaint, as well as the restoration of electrical power supply interruption without the need to visit office counter service. Additionally, the company also has the big service call center. This center is a means of communication to get information about the integrity of the public service and customer satisfaction provided by the company. Having this center, the company would get back all customer requests as to serve customer with the best possibility. Would be a reminder to area of existing service of electricity in the region of Aceh and would reduce the use of the service of middlemen for enjoying company service, especially for grafting the new electricity connection, additional power, or a temporary connection. Recently, the company has provided easy access without limit to customer by introducing prepaid electricity. This was the last service that enabled customers to manage power consumption through prepaid electronic meter based on their requirement. Prepaid electricity service possesses several advantages. One, the customer do not have to worry about meter recording error. Two, they are not bothered to accept that register meter every month. Three, there is no disturbance of customer privacy. Four, the customer could fully control the use of electricity. And five, subscriber no need to worry about the occurrence of termination. Furthermore, to evaluate the performance of service provided to its customer, the company conduct customer satisfaction survey. The result of the customer satisfaction survey would be used as reference by the management of company to weigh the expectation and perception of customer with the service provided, to increase the level of customer satisfaction, and to formulate appropriate strategy in order to enhance service quality. In addition, the company also conducts survey mystery-wise, aiming at providing continued improvement in every service provided to its customer. From this survey, the company will obtain information on whether procedure for new installation, addition of power, migration, and technical service for consumer or potential consumer have been in accordance with the established standard procedure and the cost set by the company. Two, whether the management of the new installation, the addition of the power, migration, and engineering service are directly assigned to customer service unit or truck broker. Three, whether parts of unit of service customer and prospect took the contact center service by PLN 123. And four, what is the perception of the customer on the quality of service provided? There are perception of the respondent on the implementation of GCG. What respondent perception of transparency? In this study, the transparency was measured by 6 statements. Total mean score of 3.78 was documented, showing that the respondent perceived that company has been transparent in its operation. Moving towards a more transparent company, PT PLN's regional office has introduced the program of PLN Clean. PLN Clean is one of the programs to provide all online information, reports, new announcements, and other to the customer. Furthermore, in March 2012, the company has formed a partnership with Transparency International of Indonesia as one of the independent agencies engaged in the transparency and corruption prevention. Fair and Clean program is a policy that involves not only the company internally, but also all stakeholders, particularly partner with its primary target for the creation of clean, transparent, and accountable business process. Respondent perception of accountability. There in the study, there have a 5 indicator I used to measure accountability of the company. The study found that total mean score of 3.79, indicating that company has been well implemented the accountability in its operation. To implement the principle of accountability, the company has published a code of conduct related to working environment. The code of conduct is a guide for leadership interaction between human and corporate attitude towards external party. PT PLN has issued a code of conduct in October 2005 as the Code of Ethics and Behavior Guidelines adopted by all levels of the company with the expectation to build a company culture of good corporate governance. Next slide, please. Okay, their respondent perception of responsibility. In this study, responsibility was measured by 4 statements. The total mean score of 3.82 was accumulated, indicating the implementation of the principle responsibility by the company was good. In implementing the principle responsibility, several program forms of corporate social responsibility. There have 4 program, 1 customer protection program, 2 partnership program, 3 community development program, and 4 environmental program. Through this program, the company has committed to make electricity as a medium to improve the quality of life of people seeking electricity power to be driving force of economic activity and execute environmentally sound business activity. The company has also harmonized the development of 3 aspects in the provision of electricity, namely economic, social, and environmental. And the respondent perception of independency. In this study, independence was measured by 4 indicators in the study. The total mean score of 4.32 was found for the independency variable, implying that the implementation of the GCG principle of independency by the company was excellent. The company has successfully implemented principle of independency of the working environment, where the company has been professionally managed without any conflict of interest and influence or pressure from other parties. This has been done by building good relationship with business partners, well, maintenance of company infrastructure, preserving the working environment by applying the Japanese system of 5S. The 5S is Seri, Seiton, Seisu, Seiketsu, and Tsuke, which is the method of structuring and maintenance of intensive work area and keeping company information confidential. Having this program being implemented, this leads to enhance the customer confidence in the performance of the company. And respondent perception and the last is a respondent perception of fairness. The fairness is the last principle of GCG. In this study, the fairness that is measured by 5 indicators, the total mean score of 30.78 was found, implying that the employee perceived that the principle of fairness has been well implemented by the company. The company has implemented the principle of fairness in its operation by equally fulfilling the rights of stakeholders in accordance with the legislation in force. The company has fully paid attention to the interests of stakeholders based on the principle of fairness and equality. The company also has provided the opportunity for employees to provide feedbacks and opinion in the interest of the company, as well as open access to information in accordance with the principle of transparency within the scope of employee respective position. To further enhance the fairness in its operation, the company has designed company policy. There have 3. 1. To be fair, accurate, timely, transparent, and comply with existing law and regulation. 2. Mutual foster good relationship among employees to avoid discriminatory practice. 3. To provide security and safety to employees based on the program. Is program can call knife their knowledge, norm discussion forums, innovation contest, festival, and exhibition. This is an annual agenda in conjunction with the National Electricity Anniversary that provides award for its innovative employee. Next slide, please. Oh, okay. Role of the good corporate governance implementations on service quality. After evaluating the implementation of good corporate governance, the study presents the empirical evidence on the role of its good corporate governance implementation on improving the service quality of the company using the multiple regression model. From the multiple regression estimation, all other good corporate governance principles were found to positively and significantly affect the service quality. This finding indicates that the GCG has played important role in enhancing the service quality provided by the company to its public customer. Specifically, the transparency regression coefficient of 0.348, indicating that an increase in transparency level by 100%, it would contribute to enhancement of the quality of service by 34.8% on a scale record. Meanwhile, there is an improvement in accountability by 100%. It would improve the quality of service by 40.4% on Likert scale. Similarly, when there was an increase in responsibility by 100%, the service quality would also be increased by 12.4% on scale record. Finally, the estimated regression coefficient of fairness is 0.146, showing that when the fairness increased by 100%, it would promote the service quality of the company by 14.6% on a Likert scale. Overall, the accountability variable was found to be the most dominant principle of GCG in improving the service quality of the company. Referring to the R square, a test of 0.740, the study documented that the change in surface quality could be explained by 71.4% change in implementation of principle of GCG. So just only 27.4% of change in service quality of the company might be influenced by other variables that are not investigated in the study. Next slide, please, Mr. Ahmad. Okay, there are factors supporting and inhibiting implementation of GCG on service quality. Factors supporting is there have internal factors include the cooperation, coordination, and mutual support by the employee, as well as the establishment of management function under the GCG corporate secretary duty that especially deal with and monitor the effectiveness of the implementation of GCG. Employees are required to provide a friendly service, be courteous and responsive. And two, the external factor include program created by the company in the implementation of GCG and to develop information technology that facilitate employee in their works and provide ease of access without limits to customer. One form is to issue a PLN 123 contact center service and callback service as one as one of the application is the implementation of IT governance that support the application of the principle of GCG. Factor inhibiting A, delay in delivery of SR material of new spacing. SR material is electricity material. B, call center fees that are still considered expensive by customer. C, less fast completion of service work. D, when making a callback service, there are still customers who are difficult to contact. E, when conducting a customer survey, the respondent is not the original owner of the account. F, the difficulty of finding the location of the customer in solving problems complained by customer. G, cost, X, person. I, time. Next, next, next slide, please. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Conclusion in this study, by implementing good corporate governance, it can improve service quality. Thank you. So, this my presentation. My presentation about my study of to implementation of good corporate governance to improve service quality. The case of state-owned electricity company in Indonesia. I hope what I have said is useful for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Elmira, for presenting today. And I am so happy as a master, you finish your master, but you didn't study your PhD and you present. That's so good. That's so good. So I encourage everyone to do the same to improve his knowledge and paper, which is end to publication. So now we will open the floor for any question. As I said in the beginning of the webinar, there is two types for asking question. You can just below write your question in Q&A, or you can raise hand and I will go one by one to ask Lamira for any question. As I said, it's a working paper. You can tell her any advice, comments, so she can improve this paper to end it in publication in high rank journals. Okay, there is a question, Lamira, from Dr. Ramiz.
Yes.
He said, how long has it take for electricity in your country to implement good government?
The good corporate governance have implementation in Augustus 2002. In Augustus 2002 is the first implementation good corporate governance. This application in our electricity in my country.
Great, thank you so much. Also, I have a question. How can you increase the service quality to meet customer expectation as in your paper? So how you can increase the service quality to meet customer expectation?
Yes, can you repeat it?
Yes, you said you talk about the good a good service quality, yeah. So
yes.
I want to ask you how you can meet the customer expectation by good service quality. So which kind of service quality do you need?
I just met from the employee is not a customer, but I meet employee. There are use electricity too, and there are work in the state-owned electricity. So the respondent is employee of case employee of state-owned electricity company. They are
Okay,
employee.
Amira, I want. Can you tell us, please, what is the contribution of your paper, please? So, what is the new? What's new in your paper?
Yes, yes, sir.
What is the contribution of your paper? What is the originality?
Oh, is the contribution is can make a public service can to use good corporate governance, or there can implementation good corporate governance in their company to make good service quality or to improve service quality. In this our country, the case of state-owned electricity company in Indonesia, there has only one and called PT PLN. We don't have anything else electricity company. There just one. So
So,
I
did
want to
you mean?
see, yes.
Did you mean, Amira, this is the only paper that talk about the electricity in I mean, this is the only paper that talk about the electricity in whole papers that is published already in literatures.
No, the paper talk about how implementation of good corporate governance
Right.
can improve service quality. It's talk
Let me
about
ask.
that, but
Let me ask you another question. Maybe it will be easier or clearer. Let's say, what is in your paper, not in the other paper? So what is something special in your paper? No one talk about it or publish it before.
yes, the special is I'm talk about how implementation of good corporate government to improve service quality in of state-owned electricity company in Indonesia. So I want to see how state-owned electricity company in Indonesia how there can implementation of good corporate governance to improve service quality in their company. I want to see that.
Great. Last question. Lamira,
Yes.
why you focus in electricity company? Why didn't focus in other industry, communication, food industry, service industry? So why you focus just in electricity?
Why I focus in the case in the why my study the case of state-owned electricity company in Indonesia, because in Indonesia we just have one electricity company. We don't have another else electricity company. So I want to see how the electricity company in Indonesia can make improve service quality to our people in Indonesia. And I want to answer what your question about a novelty. The novelty in my study in Indonesia, we still new in uh, implementation of good corporate governance, right? There in our country is just is not it's nothing nothing in company Indonesia have already implementation of good corporate governance. So I want to talk about that. How implementation of good corporate governance can improve service quality, especially public service. Yeah, I want to say how can there can improve service quality in public service with implementation of good corporate governance. Yes, like that, Mr. Ahmad.
Yes, great. Also, there is a question here. What is the preferred software for qualitative analysis? So you use the qualitative as your experience. Which qualitative software did you use? So did you use a software in your analysis?
Yes, for software for qualitative is I'm not I'm not use I'm not use software, but I'm just analyze for interview.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just analyze an interview. For software, yes.
How did you analyze the interviews? Do you use a program or how?
No, I'm not use program. I'm just make a list, question of list, yes, to ask for the respondent.
Nice.
Just that for qualitative analysis, because it's first for me use qualitative analysis. So I just make a list make list a question uh, to ask a respondent. It's a manual questionnaire.
Okay. I don't know. As my experience in qualitative, and when I read many papers that talk about qualitative study, mostly they use in vivo software, which is one of a good software that help researchers or doctors, professors to analyze the interviews. So I encourage you to use this software. For the one that they ask which software, so in my advice, in vivo is one of the good softwares. Are they other software? I don't know. But what I know from my colleagues and what we use is in vivo, which is one of the good software that help in interview. And in ITAR, you can check in Dr. Ahmed Al-Kattan channel on YouTube. There is one webinar that talk about in vivo by Dr. Muna from University of Portsmouth in UK. Also, after maybe 2 weeks or 10 days, there will be another webinar will focus about in vivo. So I encourage everyone to join this webinar. There's other question, Lamira. What is the role of advanced technology in implementing GCG?
Yes.
So what is the role of advanced technology in implementing GCG?
Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute, sir. The role of advanced technology in implementing GCG, the technology can announce to public how far GCG has been implementing. Yes, can you hear myself? Can you hear me? Yes,
Yes.
because the connection in my country unstable, so I cannot your voice so clearly. I'm sorry. So, yes, the role of advanced technology in implementing GCG is to see how far good corporate governance has been implemented. So public can see how far the company have implemented good corporate governance, and this in the principle of good corporate governance, they have transparency. Technology can make it more transparent. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Also, there is, sorry, Amira, there is some Sarah, Misali, and maybe some audience that ask about how they can register an in vivo. Also, as my experience, most university provide in vivo for free for a PhD or master student. Also, Egyptian, what I know, Egyptian, they can take it by free from the university, so that you can ask your supervisor, and I think he will be happy to serve you or help you to download it in your computer. Guys, I pull a question about CIA 2020. So please don't leave after Amira finish her questions. Because I will talk about the CIA 2020. Maybe it will be a good opportunity to join this international conference that I will talk about it after a minute. So if anyone have any question for Amira. So there is also a question. Your paper is qualitative, right? Because you use interviews, as you said.
No, it's a mixed method. I use a qualitative and quantitative method.
All right, great. So this is also, I encourage everyone, if you can use mixed method, it will be so good. I think this is one of your originality, Lamira. Using mixed method, it's something so good. It's support your paper, support your ideas, because most of papers nowadays, and you can see from literature, use use qualitative or quantitative method. But if you use mixed method, it will be good, and it will support the paper and your paper question. Okay, is there any question for Lamira?
Yes.
Okay, Lamira, thank you so much for accepting my invitation, and thank you so much because you have, the power to present in your stage, which is you are not a doctor and you present a paper. That's so good, and I encourage everyone. When you end, I have two things to say to everyone. When you end this webinar, it will take you to a survey. So I am happy if anyone want to join us and to present a topic in accounting or something that will help a researcher. You can write your email in your survey. So where you can write your email or the topic that you will present after you end the meeting, it will go directly to survey. But before ending this meeting, I want to share with you what is CIA 2020 conference, international conference. So this is this is the CIA 2020. It's international conference in centenary issues in accounting. This conference is organized by me, Dr. Ahmed Al-Kattan, and sponsored by Youth Public Authority, which is government. Also, Kuwait Accountants and Auditors Association, the scientific committee are Professor Aziz Ja'far from UK, Professor Anis Jarboui from Tunisia, and me, also me from Kuwait, and also there is a missing name, which is a Professor Badr Shimri from Kuwait, and also Professor Mustafa Kamil from Qatar. The keynote speaker will be Dr. Ahmed Al-Amir from UK, Dr. Karen McBride from UK, and Dr. Khaldoun Al-Bitar from UK. This conference, the conference topic is corporate governance, CSR, banking, IT, big data, corporate narrative reporting, taxation, auditing, market reaction, risk, earning management, performance, IFRS. So right now we are calling of papers. So anyone, we are happy to accept any paper by sending to my email, drahmedalkattan@gmail.com. This conference, it will be online and free. So this is a good opportunity for everyone to join and send his or her paper to this conference. Okay. For the people or audience that they want to join, but they don't want to present, also yesterday I post in my accounts that I will share it in a minute. You can register and you can watch other speakers that will present their papers. Also, the paper that will be accepted in this conference, they will take a membership in Kuwait Accountant and Auditors Association for 1 year for free. Also, they will take an opportunity for the high quality paper to publish in Jafra journal, which is a Journal of Financial Reporting and Accounting, which is Q3 in Scopus, and also it's ranked by APDC, which is Australian index. Let me share with you guys my email. So anyone want to send me his or her paper and take this opportunity, which is coming from COVID-19. Everyone say COVID-19 is a negative and something not good, but however, there is something good. Most of conferences, workshop nowadays is free because it's online. There is other conference you need to pay fees. However, this conference, it's free. So I encourage everyone to take this opportunity to see what others present. And also, if anyone wants to present, we'll see, they will take comments from big names that professors from all over the world. They have a good name and a good experience. They will give them comments, feedback that will improve the quality of the paper. Also, as I said, if his or her paper is good, it will publish in this journal, which is the Q3 journals. Finally, let me post my account so everyone can reach any update in the conference, or what will be in next next week's seminars, what is the next webinar, what is the next workshop or conference. So please keep your eye in those accounts, which is in LinkedIn, in ResearchGate, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. In 8th of September, there will be a different session, a new webinar, a new topic. We'll go to psychology this time. So everybody have something going on in this pandemic, some negative ideas, some lazy in working or writing, maybe negative thought that came from his mind or someone told him or her. So there will be with us Dr. Nadia Al-Khaldi from Kuwait. She will talk about how to avoid negativity. So I will put the link soon in those accounts. So I am happy if anyone want to join and listen to the next webinar. For now, thank you very much, Lamira, for your presentation. As I said before, and really I am happy that you present this paper. Also, I want to thank the audience for coming today, joining us, and listen. A new idea or a new thing or new paper in corporate governance. So thank you all. Thank you very much. Do you want to say anything, Amira, before we end this webinar?
Yes, I want to say thank you, especially for you, Mr. Dr. Ahmad Al-Katan, for invite me. Honestly, it's first time for me to talk, to be a speaker, just only me. So I am nervous, absolutely. And I want to thank you for participants who attends in this webinar. Thank you very much. And I said sorry if in this my presentation have still a lack knowledge, because it's first time for me. Okay, so Mr. Ahmad, maybe you can invite me for next event. Thank you very much, Mr. Dr. Ahmad Al-Katan and ITAR Group. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Amira. Appreciate everyone. Thank you so much for coming today and joining this webinar. As I said before leaving after you leave this meeting, it will take you to another window, which is give you a short survey. Will take maybe 30 seconds or 50 seconds maximum. Please answer those questions. It will help me to improve the quality of next or future webinars. Thank you very much. See you next week. Salam.